welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole and you're watching Nick Ink Artistry. So I'm back with a new video for you guys all about my no foundation routine. You guys will see in depth how I achieve beautiful filtered looking skin without a filter. You guys will see a little bit of my skincare routine before I even apply any makeup to my face. And you guys will also see my little brow routine that I have as well. And I am just showing you just my base makeup and my brows today. So basically just all of my base steps that when I start off my tutorials with just a blank canvas, that's kind of what I already have going on, just my base makeup and my brows and so on and so forth basically. So if you guys like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. I have a lot of great things coming in 2020 that you're not going to want to miss. And of course, comment down below what you guys want to see from me next. And without further ado, let's jump right on into this video. Alright guys, so let's jump right on into it. I won't leave you guys staring at my no makeup face for too much longer. So first we're going to go in with a moisturizer. So I usually go in with my Arbonne Prep Works. This is technically an overnight like face jelly, but I do like to use it under my makeup. I think that it's a really nice base because it doesn't have any oils in there that are going to make our foundation weird or anything. So I love usually going with this one. I do have this little sample of this Pure Lease Watermelon Energizing Aqua Balm. So I am going to use this one today. I just love how it smells and I think I will buy a full size when I'm done with it. And I did already put a little bit of moisturizer on after I washed my face this morning. And I feel like that product really absorbs very nicely into the skin. The same thing with my Arbonne Prep Works. And now honestly, I will just leave it at that. I won't even use a primer if my day is going to be really short, if my makeup will not be on for a long time. Even if I go to work for like 6 hours, I still will use a primer just in case. And recently I picked up the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I have been loving this. It is really tacky though, which I know a lot of people love. I mean, it does really help your foundation stick, so I like it for that aspect. I just don't like the feeling of it, I guess, on my face. But I usually just focus this more on my T-zone. But yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like someone like smeared a glue stick on you, like it's very tacky. Alright, so now we can move on to our foundation. So I love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow because I don't want anything to be too stark and matte and flat to my face. I want it to appear very natural. And this gives you a really nice dewy finish without it looking like really oily and like too dewy. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix in a little bit of my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. Now in the foundation, I'm in the shade 101 Ivory, and then in my concealer, I'm in the shade 320. Now here we are. I always put it on the back of my hand. So there's the foundation, and then I put a little bit of the concealer on the back of my hand as well. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it in with my finger. You can use a brush. I just like to use my hands to warm up the product and really get my hands in there. Now I'm gonna start off by showing you guys what I do for a really light, very natural, like no foundation look. Both of the looks are gonna be no foundation, but this is like really just like bare minimum if I want my skin to look like I really don't have any makeup on it at all, which I always go for, but this is like really very, very, very minimal. So I'm going to take this really tiny Eco Tools brush. I love these little brushes. And I'm just going to kind of spot conceal where I need it. Now this does take up a little bit more time for sure, but if I have the time, then I will definitely do this. And I just kind of spot any little redness or anything that I don't like. Around my nose, I get so red. And then usually I'll blend it out with my finger, but today I'm going to use my beauty blender. That way it's a little bit faster. It's actually a Real Techniques beauty sponge. And notice how I only really put the concealer and foundation combo in like the T-zone area. Thankfully, I don't get any acne really outside of it. Like it literally is just all in the center of my face. And my whole theory is why put foundation all over my face when I don't need it everywhere, that kind of thing. But so I do need a little bit more coverage, so I'm going to show you guys what I pretty much like 99% of the time I do just because it's faster. As I mix up the foundation and the concealer combo, I will just kind of dot it on my skin where I need it. Now you can keep going until you've reached your desired coverage. I think this is okay for me, so we're going to start with the under eyes. And because I still have a lot of product on the back of my hand, I just go ahead and use this. My concealer shade that I use is a little bit too light to use just straight underneath my eyes alone. I don't know how. This is actually just way too light for my skin. So I do go ahead and still keep the foundation that's mixed in. That way it's not as heavy because the foundation is so like lightweight and thin, although it has that crazy amount of coverage. But first things first, I do like to color correct because my under eyes are just so blue and purple because my skin is just so fair. So I do go ahead with a color corrector. This is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. It just has a little bit of an orangey, peachy undertone. That way it cancels out that blue that we have going on under there. And I just blend this in with my finger a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to go back in with my Beauty Blender and that foundation concealer mixture on the back of my hand. We're just going to go right over top of it. And I do carry that all over my lid as well because I'm sure you could tell I have a lot of veins, a lot of redness on my lids. Once my face is to the desired coverage that I want for my skin, I'm going to go ahead and take my Airspun loose powder. This is in the shade Naturally Natural. I don't really know what that means. I think it's like their lightest shade. So I'm going to go ahead and take that on my sponge, obviously, and go ahead and set my face. And so now I'm going to start thinking about for blush and all of that as well. Usually I will go ahead and apply my blush because most of the time I already know what my eyeshadow look's going to be. I like my looks to be cohesive, so if I'm doing like a peachy, warm eyeshadow look, I'm going to match my blush with that. I'm not going to put like a pinky blush and then like a peach eyeshadow look. I mean, you could totally do that. I don't really think anyone cares, honestly. But to me, I like everything to be cohesive, so if I use a peach blush, I'm going to do peach eyeshadow, that kind of thing. And notice how I'm really only setting like the middle of my face. I think we didn't really put anything on the outer portion of my face, so I really wouldn't need to set it or anything. But also, if I want to do a cream blush, the powder won't mess with that, which I am going to go in with a cream blush today. I usually love to do the NARS Orgasm blush, or I'll do my Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. I love those. But I have been really liking a cream blush just because it's winter in Ohio. I really like the cream blushes for the winter time. Here in Ohio, the air is so dry, so I feel like the cream blush adds a little bit of moisture, at least back into the skin. That way I'm not packing on a bunch of powders to my already dry skin. So I'm just taking that on a BH Cosmetics. Pretty sure this is probably like a foundation brush, but I think it works great for the cream blush. So pretty, gives such a nice flush. And this is the Seraphine Botanicals Guava Butter Cream Blush and Lip. And I like to also add a little bit of blush to my nose. I don't really know why, honestly. It's just kind of a habit. I think it looks cute. I don't know. It's not like I make myself look like Rudolph or anything, so. And I love blush, so I tend to go a little bit heavy-handed. I like to blend it out also, though, so it's not like stark right in your cheek area. But I do start at the apples of my cheeks and kind of blend back. I think that looks the most natural. And then just also, depending on the day, I'll go in with like a cream highlight. This is the Mega Glow one from Wet n Wild. I love this one. So beautiful. This is in the shade Halo Goodbye. But I am just going to go in with the regular powder highlight today. I've been liking this Kat Von D Alchemist one. I recently just picked this one up. I just take this on a crown brush. I think it's kind of like the perfect shape for highlighting. So I obviously do the tops of my cheekbones, and then I do a little bit of my brow and above the brow. Preferably before I do my brows, because I want to like kind of go in through those brow hairs a little bit and just kind of all over that brow. Oh, we're looking crazy. Of course, down the center of my nose, a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and of course a little bit on my chin. Now once you have all that to your desired intensity, that's pretty much it to the face. Now if it's the summer, I'll go in with some bronzer, and I'll just show you guys just for the sake of this video. I usually just do my bronzer mostly in like the summertime. In the winter, I don't really reach for it just because, I mean, who are we kidding? I'm definitely not getting a tan ever, but especially in the winter, I'm not really seeing the sun. But I will take my Essence bronzer. I love this one. It's in the shade Natural. I think this one is probably the perfect shade for me, especially, and it's only a couple dollars. But I'll take that on a huge fluffy face brush. I just kind of pat into that a little bit, swirl it, and then only apply it, you know, in my bones and all of that. And just really lightly. Like I said, like, who are we trying to kid here that we were on like a tropical vacation? And I don't think it matters like what order you like do your blush, bronzer, and highlight in. It really all just depends on you and what you're going for that day. I did my blush first, especially because I used a cream product and I wouldn't want to put a cream over all the other powders that I used. So I went in with my cream blush first and then my highlighter on top of that and kind of blended that on in with that blush, and then the bronzer at the end also. All right, so now we have our face already done, so let's move on to our brows. So I just have this old mascara one that I just use as a spoolie and just clean it and reuse it. You can get packs of spoolies, I think on like Amazon or any kind of like beauty store, I'm sure. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and brush up my brows. Now sometimes I'll use a pencil. I don't really have any pencils at the moment that I like, but I've kind of moved on from pencils. I literally use an eyeliner brush and my Naked Basics palette. I use the shade Faint in here. I think it's a really good tone and a good shade match for my brows. I don't want anything too red because my brows aren't red. Like they're really like neutral color. So I don't want it to like match my hair like an auburn would. Anyway, so I'm gonna dip into that and I literally just kind of start stamping and swiping that on through. This is gonna give us a really, really natural brow, which is what we want. Because my brow hair is literally so light that you know, you just can't really see the brow hairs basically. This is just giving us a really natural look. I don't want it to ever look like our whole brow is like drawn on. I don't want it to look like that. I just want it to look like they're just naturally this full, you know? And I really don't fill out my front a lot. I mean, the front of my brow I want to look a little bit less, I guess, filled in anyway, because I want it to look like it's just kind of naturally fading in. Then I can either take my beauty sponge like I'm doing now, or I'll use that little brush that we used earlier to spot conceal to kind of go over any out of line little things that we did. Alright, so now when we're done with those and filling those into our desired opaqueness and everything, I'm just going to kind of brush all of that through. I'm going to go ahead and take my Maybelline Clear Brow Gel. This is like a brand new tube. These things last me for forever, but it is so wet when you first get it. Same thing with mascara. Like, I just don't like wet products. If I literally just went over my brow like this, it would literally never dry because it's just so wet. So I literally have to go ahead and scrape off like most of the product. This takes a long time, so be right back. So now that it isn't soaking wet, we're just literally gonna brush our brows into place. And this is just all personal preference. I like to brush mine a little bit more up so it gives the appearance that I have more hairs and I guess more volume to my brows. But I feel like brows are just so personal to you and you have to find the shape that goes well with your face and that you like, obviously. Alright, so now that we're looking a little bit more regular, this is usually the face that you see when we start off our makeup tutorials here. But I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of eye makeup on and we'll be right back. So we're back and I did go ahead and finish my eyes off camera. If you want to know how I completed the rest of this look, make sure you subscribe to my channel to see Friday's video where I go from a day look to a night look. But yeah, so this is it guys for this no foundation routine look. I hope you guys liked it and I hope you guys learned some tips and tricks to achieve beautiful filtered looking skin. And of course, if you liked this video, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, subscribe down below like I said so you're notified for all my videos coming up in 2020. And comment down below so I know what kind of videos you want to see from me next. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!